Have you found yourself a little bit lost in terms of purpose, fulfillment in your life? Well, today I want to talk about purpose because I know this is a very heavily talked about topic, particularly for men. And having read lots of men development books, being in men's groups, is something that comes up a lot. So I want to share my perspective on this and see if we can help you move forward with your purpose today. And of course, if you stay until the end, there's going to be an extra point for you then as well. Now, if you want to connect with me further on social media, you like what you hear and you want to have a bit more of a conversation, you can do that by clicking in the links in the show notes below as well. Like I said, purpose is shared around an awful lot, I feel. And it's great, right? And there's different views, so I'm just going to share my own today. For me, what I've discovered, I've been many times been a bit lost. I've been like in a career that I didn't enjoy as much or just not feeling as good. Now, for me, purpose is about being in a state of being, a certain way of living. Now, it doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to be this massive thing that when I've achieved X, Y, Z, that I will be living my purpose. I believe it's like the moment of being something, and also contributing something. For me personally, and there's different ways that you can discover it, I believe. Now, for me, it's been through some of my biggest challenges. One of my biggest purposes is talking about men's mental health because of the amount of challenges I've had in my life. I also find purpose from like writing, from expressing. That really lights me up. That's a way of being, expressing my vulnerability and things like men's mental health from all the challenges and feeling really down, the anxiety, the stress I've had over the years, and not being perfect right now, right? I'm not always like 100% I'm happy, I'm done, right? I just like to share my story and share it on here. And I also like other guys to come on and share their story. That's why I have guest episodes as well. But for me, like purpose is like it's a sense of expression. It's expression for me. Now, I don't, I don't like to, just think it's like a destination. I feel like it's a state of being. So I want to give you some guidance on yours. Because maybe you feel a bit stuck, and I sometimes have definitely been there. It's like, what's my purpose? How do I move forward? So here's some questions for you to really think about. And I don't make this super complicated because when you make things complicated, it makes you less likely to do them. It makes you put things off, I found in my personal experience. So the first question I'd ask you is, what challenges have you gone through? What challenges have you gone through that you could help someone else with? Right? Maybe you're like, okay, I'm still going through something, I'm working through it, but you're like, I'm determined to work through this so I can teach it to other people, right? So asking yourself, what challenges have you gone through or are you currently going through that could really be something for you to help others with? The second one, what fires you up? What makes your body, not your mind, like excited, right? Because I've been in places when people are like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And I've got a lot of skill sets, I'm not going to lie. I'm very proud to, and I work very hard for who I am. I work really, really hard. Like a lot of people say, and I'm really proud of that. Like I don't burn myself to the ground because I've learned to kind of go with the flow. Because if I exhaust myself, I don't feel as good. But for me, what I've learned is when people are like, you should, you're good at this and do that. If my body is not excited by it, it's usually not lighting me up. Yet when I'm like writing or I'm creating, I find there's a different type of energy about me, and therefore that really feels purposeful and meaningful in my life. So listen to your body when you're going through things like that. And then the third thing, if you're really struggling, is ask yourself, what are you curious about? Like trying further. Maybe like, maybe I fancy some creative writing. Maybe I fancy some painting or trying it, but I don't know if it's my purpose. Well, if you don't try it, you never know. So just ask yourself, what are you curious about is a really great question to help you move forward as well. Now, I've got a final point for you as well. Just want to mention again, though, that if you want to connect with me further, you can find my social media links in the show notes below as well. The final thing is, if you're really like struggling with purpose, I would come back to what I've been talking about in the last recent podcast about logging your energy. Logging your energy and points that have just helped you. Like, okay, I felt really good today. I was doing this, I was experiencing this, I was doing that, and time felt like it just faded away. It was so good. Start logging that and paying attention to it, because that could be giving you clues. And if you're not feeling that, then try some things out each day and then start logging the results they're giving you. So maybe it's like, well, I decided to write my first blog. Okay, you tried it and it's like, I felt amazing. I felt really good. This expression. Maybe it's something you could continue doing. Maybe it's like, oh, I wrote my blog and I've done that a couple of times now. I just don't feel energized by it. That's totally cool. I do when I finish a blog. I do when I've made a podcast. So it's completely up to you when you do that kind of thing. In terms of what's going to be right for you. But just logging and paying attention to things can be really, really powerful, and seeing how purposeful for you it is. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, around the concept of purpose. I appreciate you for being here, and remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.